Uh, Turn the mic up. You are now tuned in to Standing on Business, the podcast. Hosted by Shan. Yeah, let's talk. Standing on business, welcome to the show. Real talk, real stories, let the whole world know. No filter, no fear, yeah, I say what it is. If it's raw, if it's real, I'm standing on business, standing on business. Welcome to the show, real talk, real stories, let the whole world know. No filter, no fear, yeah, I say what it is. If it's raw, if it's real, I'm standing on business. From pain to purpose, every story get respect. If you lived it, survived it, put it on the set. Healing and hustling, truth is the mission. This ain't small talk, this grown folk business. Safe space, bold voices, conversations hit different. No sugarcoating life, yeah, we talking how we live it. If it's messy, if it's healing, if it change your position, grab the mic, speak your truth, yeah, we standing on business. This is standing on business. Real conversations, real purpose. Press play.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Standing on Business podcast, where I'm your host, Chantal Taylor. And today we have a treat for you all. We are going to be talking about mental health with the one and only Dr. Adams. Thank you for being here today, Dr. Adams. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and thank you so much for having me.
No problem. So, before we get into the questions, could you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yes, as known, I'm Dr. Dorothy Adams. I am a dual certified nurse practitioner specializing in psychiatric nurse practice, psychiatric NP, as well as a family nurse practitioner. And I have over 34 plus years of experience in healthcare in various different settings, inpatient, outpatient. So I like to kind of say that I have like a global background experience so that I'll be able to take all the experience that I've learned throughout the years and apply it to each one of my clients.
Okay. So I got a couple questions for you. I'm not gonna bore you too much. But I would like my first question I would like to ask you is how do you explain mental fitness and why is it as important as physical health?
I would explain mental fitness as be having a balance of mind, body, and soul. Because I would say, as a quote of mine, mental health is just as important as physical health because they work hand in hand. It's just like if you've got a scale of balance, if one is off, the other one will be reflected as well. Meaning, if your physical health is not well, then your mental health will be affected. So, the balance is to have both working at its best or its most healthy as well as state.
Okay, I like the way you put that. That makes so much sense. I never looked at it like that. See, I told you these were some good questions. That was
Good, they
good.
are.
Okay. Hey everybody that's tuning in, welcome to the show. The number two question is what can people do to help normalize mental health care in daily life?
Well, self care is so important for everyone. And we live such busy lives as individuals. And sometimes the last person you think about is self. And I would like to state that as something that needs to be first, putting self care first, making sure that you are well and you are cared for and you are making sure that you have what you need before you begin to step out and attempt to care for others. Because if your mental health is not well or your physical health is not well, it's going to reflect that you're really not going to be at your best of helping someone else.
Mm. It's good that you said that because, for example, I just recently beat cancer last year, and I have a hard time doing self care for myself. I love wigs. I'll put a wig on, put some lip gloss on, or something like that. I do my own nails and stuff, but I have a hard time doing self care for myself because I'm always worried about somebody else's. And I think I'm getting to the point now where I'm learning. It's nice to put myself first sometimes, take care of me first. Because my grandma always said, if you look good, you feel good. So I'm learning. So,
Yeah.
okay.
And a lot of times we have to learn how to say no for other,
Mm-hmm.
so that we'll have that time to care for ourselves. And being, uh, in business or healthcare or whatever your trade is, it takes a lot of time from you. It takes a lot of time
Mm-hmm.
from home. And, you just have to say no sometimes and take that opportunity to rest.
Yes, and that's so true because I'm not gonna lie to you, Dr. Adams. I be so wrapped up in my work, especially with the magazine. I'm just in love with my magazine. Like I'm up all hours of the night thinking of new ways to build my brand. I barely get sleep. Sometimes I forget to eat because I'm so busy wrapped up in this. And I'm like, I got to find some balance somewhere. Because
Yeah.
if I don't, I'm gonna burn myself out because I'm a mother and then I have my children, then I have these businesses and things like that. So sometimes I find myself super exhausted because I don't give myself time to rest or just self care, period. So,
And with that, you won't be able to enjoy, your labor. So as it
yeah,
said, fruits of the
that's
spirit.
right.
You got
That's
to
right.
be able to enjoy that hard work
Yeah.
that pays off.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, everybody that's tuning in. If you are new here, my name is Chantal Taylor and I'm your host. And today we have the beautiful Dr. Adams and we are talking about mental health. So if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments and don't be afraid to speak to us. We don't bite, okay? So, my next question for you is, how do you address stigma or fear when someone is seeking help for the first time?
It's interesting that you said that, because if we start to look out into, healthcare, it seems like every diagnosis is accepted, really fast, except mental health. And the stigma behind or that is attached to mental health, it hinders many people from even seeking help. So we have to get past the stigma. And like I said before, mental health is just as important as physical health. We have to encourage anyone who are experiencing any type of signs and symptoms, whether it be depressive symptoms, anxiety, or even insomnia, not sleeping, or as you say, uh, experiencing burnout from being just stressed out, from overwhelmed with so many different life stressors. We have to put that out there that it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay
Mhm.
to seek care from a mental health provider, and talk to them and have an opportunity to let them know what's going on with you, and just see if there's something going on that might not be normal, might not be the way it should be. And you have a one-on-one session with your mental health provider. You're able to build a rapport with your mental health provider. That means that everything that you're talking about is private and confidential, and it falls up under the HIPAA,
Yeah.
the regulations. So you just want to let that person know that if they're coming to you for help, that you're there to help them. You're there to listen and not judge, and you're there to offer the resources that's available to them. Because a lot of times, many people don't even know that they really are experiencing some imbalance with their mental health. They just think that, oh, I've been dealing with this so long, so this is normal for me. But that's
Hmm.
not normal.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I know when I was battling cancer, I didn't realize how depressed I was until one day my doctor just brought it to my attention. She was like, "You coming here, you so different now. You used to be so bubbly, this, that." And I just was like, whatever. Or she'd tell me bad news. I had got so used to it, I just shrug it off like whatever. She's like, "Are you okay? Like, really, like, are you okay?" And I was so like, I don't know. Like I was just used to adapting to, what was going on. I did start going to therapy, but I'm not gonna lie to you, Dr. Adams. The person I was seeing, it just wasn't the right therapist for me. And then when I did find the right one, she moved away, and I'm like, oh no, like what can I do? So I have not been back to a therapist since then, and I do deal with depression sometimes. Um, like I'm transparent, so I'll be transparent right now. When I get up in the morning and I look in the mirror, I don't like what I see. And it's not that I feel that I'm ugly or anything, but I feel like maybe 2 years ago when the cancer wasn't so bad, I looked it better. or I can tell the differences in my body now. So that's something I struggle with. A lot of people don't see that when they see me because I'm just bubbly, fun, but I really be depressed a lot. And then life is just stressful itself when things are just not where you want it to be, you know?
Yeah.
So you making me feel a little comfortable about men becoming a therapy because I really feel like everybody can use a little therapy. I mean, the stigma I grew up around, people say, oh, therapists, they can't teach you nothing. Pray to God about it. And I be like, well, God put doctors here to help us, you know? So I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure if they here, they can help us with something. And not all therapists are just about medicine. Some of them will listen to you and, give you advice and kind of help you get through things. So I think I might get back out there and getting me some therapy.
One of the things that you pointed out when you were telling about how you wake up in the morning and don't really like what you see, that's considered a syndrome of masking. You're putting on a mask, to
Hmm.
let everybody know that I'm doing well. But at the same time, behind the mask, you're struggling. So that's
Hmm.
opportunity right there to seek counseling, just to be able to have someone to talk to. You're right. You'll be amazed of just having a space where you could just come and just kind of be you, and someone is right there
Hmm.
to take and just listen to everything that's going on with you, and then offer advice and different coping strategies and techniques that you might can use that will help you to prevent you from continuing to spiral down. But actually, okay, I've had my little pity party or my little cry day or my little whatever I had to have, and now, hey, I'm back to business, so I'm about
Yep.
to go forward.
Yeah, and see, that's what I do. I promise you, I could be upset about something. I cry for a few seconds, then I wipe it up. But then I was also raised by, excuse me, my grandmother. And my grandma used to always tell us, we'll get to crying about something. She'd be like, I ain't raising no weak girls. And we used to be like, dang, we can't cry. But she wasn't any, she didn't show emotion a lot. I mean,
Mhm.
at church, she may cry if the spirit move or something, but my very first time ever seeing her show emotion was when her best friend passed away. That was
Mhm.
my first time my whole life I seen her act a different way than I had seen. I'm like, oh, so she does cry about things and we just don't know. So when she passed away, and a lot of people say I'm wrong for this, but I don't know if anybody on here has dealt with this. When my grandmother passed away, I feel like a burden lifted off of me because I was so busy trying to live the way she wanted me to and please her that I never stopped to think about myself. And when she passed away, it took me 2 to 3 years to kind of figure out who I was, what path did I want to go on, what do I like to do, So, and I'm still finding myself. I learn out, excuse me, I learn new things by myself every day.
Awesome.
So I learn new skills every day, things I didn't know I could do. Like I love to write. I never thought I would be a writer. I didn't
Awesome.
discover that till after she passed away. I just started writing about my pain. That was a form of therapy for me. I line dance. When I get super stressed, I line dance. That helps me too. So
Good.
I try to find different ways to put that energy into instead of being angry and aggressive all the time. So you helping me
Are
today.
great coping skills that you have, Miss Taylor. Those are great coping skills. Like you said, journaling, whether you know it or not, you're writing. And
Hmm.
then you say you're dancing and stuff. Exercise is a wonderful way to de-stress. And I encourage
Hmm.
you, you don't have to just go to the gym and work out. Just what you say, you line dance. So I just love that phrase of, you're dancing like nobody's watching.
Yeah, and that's me everywhere I go. People be like, "You got so much energy." I'm like, "Y'all don't know what I've been through today. This is my way of getting over it. Especially when I had cancer, I line danced the whole journey. My
Yes.
doctors even started following me to keep up with my journey because I was line dancing through everything. That was my way of kind of blocking out the bad things. Because I remember when they told me I was gonna pass away. And
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I just kept line dancing, kept having fun, kept trying to enjoy life. But like you said, wearing a mask. And I wear a mask a lot. A lot of people can't tell if I'm hurting, if I'm happy, if I'm sad, because I'm just masking it up all the time. So
Yeah.
that was good. That was really
Really
good.
great.
So my next question, Dr. Adams, how do you personalize treatment while using evidence-based practices?
Personalized treatment. What every individual is an individual. They're
Mm,
wonderfully and uniquely made. So their symptoms, the way they feel, the way they handle different stressors are going to be different. Like you speak on a traumatic situation that you were going through dealing with cancer. Most people say, oh, just break down, waddle, cry, in the bed, not want to get up, not want to be around anybody, not wanting to live or just live life, while they're here. But you didn't sound like you did that. That's a totally different approach for you. And so when you're caring for a new client to come in, you have to meet them where they are. You have to gather information and don't stereotype anything and don't assume anything with anybody. You listen to what they tell you. And then just like you ask the questions that you want to know. Well, how are you feeling? If they say, well, I'm feeling fine, well, tell me, what is fine to you? Because fine may be, I'm feeling fine, but I've got this mask on and I'm about to break down and I'm thinking about committing suicide as soon as I get finished talking to you. Or someone else's fine may be, hey, I had a few rough days this week, but hey, I'm good right now. So, I'm feeling okay. I'm not as depressed as I was early part of this week, or I didn't have, but one anxiety attack this week. And usually I have five, those type of things. So meeting that person where they are to see exactly what they are going through, and then going through the process. Let's talk about how you're coping. Let's talk about what type of coping skills are you using. Um, what helps you to settle down? What helps you to feel better? Or how are you sleeping? You just have to go through the assessment of just identifying what's going on with that person. And that's how I normalize it and, use my evidence-based practice knowledge and the assessments to come up with an individualized holistic treatment plan for that person, and then make suggestions or recommendations at the end of the session and talk about it and discuss what it is they want to do. Because I always like to let the client know, you hold the key, or you're in the driver's seat. It's client focused or patient focused. It's not about what I want. I'm going to make suggestions, but if you don't accept them, it wouldn't do any good.
Hey, everybody coming in. Okay, so that was good, Dr. Adams. That was really good. Because, for example, see, I'm here. I go being transparent again. So I'm just gonna be like sitting at the table talking to your cousin. So, excuse me. So this week, I went through a phase where I felt like, well, I'm not gonna say this week. I've been noticing it for a while. I've been feeling like I've been drowning, like just drowning, and nobody's coming to save me. And I be wishing like somebody around me would see what's going on. Like nobody is noticing. Like something changed in me or something. And I'm like, is somebody gonna come and save me? Then I had to realize after a couple of days, I'm like, let me just save myself. That's how I
Yeah.
think sometimes. I'm like, let me save myself. Let me get myself up and figure out what can I do to fix my situation. Because laying there waddling in it really doesn't fix it. And if you
That's true.
continue to let it, you're just gonna feel worse and worse. That's the way I feel. Just back to like with the cancer. Most people that have cancer, they doing chemo and radiation. They probably go to their appointments and go home and lay down. Not me. I had a surgery where I was cut from the right side of my upper chest area down my right arm. That was in October. I had a magazine due the next day after my surgery. I came home from the hospital and guess what I did? I didn't go to sleep. I went to working on that magazine with my one hand trying to type up everything. And my children looking at me like I'm crazy, like you're not gonna lay down, you're not gonna do this. I was like, no, because if I don't finish it, it's not gonna get done. And so I'm still trying to get to that place where I realize it's okay to push things back or take a break
Yes.
because I really didn't have no business doing that. I'm supposed to be resting. But my mind just be going and going. It's like my mind does not rest. And I don't know if it's because I just want better for myself and my children, or it be the stress I'm up under. Because I'm always stressed out about something. The littlest things stress me out. Like the
Mhm.
children might put the smallest little mark on the wall. Now I'm stressed out because why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to learn how to balance anxiety, stress, depression, happiness, joy, love, whatever I'm feeling at the moment. I'm trying to learn to balance it and embrace it, but sometimes it just be hard and I be all over the place. And some days I just shut down because I got so much going on. I can't even think straight. Like last night when I was trying to do the interview questions, I balled up like 7 pieces of paper before I got it right.
And you
Just
got it right.
frustrated, you know?
And then we have to realize that we're human. And if things
Mm-hmm.
don't go right just the way we want it right, it's okay. You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the world, it's okay. And because if you don't, you will definitely burn yourself out. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's when counseling comes in really, really good. Just really having someone to talk to and discuss things with, and just utilize so many different techniques. I'm just thinking about the 3 box technique. Dealing with anxiety. A lot of times, if I'm dealing with one of my clients, I'll utilize that and say, let's use the 3 box technique, and that consists of, you have a box where you can make a change, where you have control over it. You have a box where you can influence, and you
Mm-hmm.
have a box where you can't do anything about. So while we're in this session, let's stay in the box where you have
Mm-hmm.
control.
I like
And
that.
a lot of them are like, wow, because if you start going to 2 and 3, you're not going to make any traction. You're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to, let the wheels turn and just wear yourself out. But if you focus on the things that you have control over, you'll make you'll improve in whatever you're doing. Just like what
Mm-hmm.
you said, what can I do? What can you do?
Okay, I like that 3 box method. I ain't never heard of that before. I didn't took notes. I didn't wrote it down on the thing. I like that. I like that. You're gonna make me try that out with my children.
Mhm.
That's a good thing. Okay, okay. So my fifth question is, why does individualized care lead to better outcomes than one size fits all care?
Okay, because truly there's not a one size fits all care. If it was, and anybody who knew it, they would be millionaires. Because we're human beings. And even though, like you said, the 3 box method may be something that you can utilize in someone else, it wouldn't work for them. It all
Mhm.
depends on the individual. What are you going through? What are your symptoms? What are we trying to accomplish? And the main thing is hoping that you can get them to the most wellest state possible. You're trying to help that person be more empowered, be more in control so that they can live fulfilling lives. So, and you want to make sure, as a provider myself, that I'm committed to providing that care for that individual. And I'm letting them know that. So,
Okay.
just providing a supportive environment for someone, especially when they're going through one of their most vulnerable states. And usually, when you're dealing with physical as well as mental, that's a very vulnerable state because you're not feeling well. You're not
Yeah.
thinking. You're not at your best. You're not as strong as you usually were. So you don't handle things the same.
Hmm. That was good. This like a good church sermon that the preacher preaching, and you can't do nothing but eat the meat. You ain't even got to the bone yet.
But
Hey, everybody that's just tuning in. Today we are speaking with Dr. Adams on mental health, y'all, and this is really good. So come in, say hey, drop a question. We don't bite, okay? We friendly. So the next question is, what real life stressors are you seeing most right now, and how does insight help?
some of the most realized stressors we're seeing right now is finances,
Hmm.
relationships,
Hmm.
and just medical health. And it's affecting the mental. Or a lot of people are decompensating. It just depends on what type of symptoms that you're going through. If you're dealing with depression and you find out that, hey, you're foreclosing on your home or you just lost your job, the first thing you're wondering, how am I going to provide for myself or my family or my children or what have you? So that alone will spark a spiral in your depressive symptoms. You're going to be sad. You're going to be down. You might even be angry, and just don't know what to do. So that's one way of looking at it. And anytime you're dealing with relationship issues, whether you're married or in a serious relationship, or even someone is close to you may die and you're not expecting that. So that's another
Mhm.
just stressor, a bond stressor that you've got to deal with, but you still got to go to work. You still got to take care of your family, but you're dealing with all this on the side. So those
Mhm.
are things that you have to look at, and you have to weigh those in when you're caring for a new client. You need to do that's
Mhm.
why that's what's so important about a thorough assessment, a thorough psychiatric assessment, because you're going to ask all those questions. You're going to make sure you document those points so that you'll know what's going on with that individual.
Mhm. And it's so good you said that because it's crazy. Go another story, y'all. This takes me back to 2021, August of 2021, when my grandmother unexpectedly passed away after getting the COVID shot, just out the blue. She got the COVID shot on that Monday. She passed away that Sunday. That's how fast it happened.
Mhm.
And I remember like how I felt because she raised me. My mom died when I was 3. So my grandmother raised me, so she meant something to me. She was really the only family that besides my sisters and brothers that I knew. And I remember when she passed, right away I didn't know what to feel. It was almost like I went numb.
Mhm.
And then it seemed like the more it got closer to her funerals when I started to feel all these different things. And they was coming so fast, I could not keep up with the emotions. And it was almost like I was spiraling out of control. And it got to the point where it almost felt like my feet never was touching the ground. Because
Mhm.
I was so my emotions were just all over the place. And I remember a year went by and I lost our house. And it just broke my heart because I ended up being homeless for a while. And I was still doing my podcast. I was still doing the magazine. I was still showing up, still being myself. But sometimes I was sleeping in the car. If I couldn't sleep in a hotel, I was sleeping at a friend house. I had different things going on. So my life was just all out of whack. I was in a domestic violence relationship. I had so much going on. And I'm
Wow.
like, oh my God. Like I had never felt that much stress at one time in my life, and it was so much other stuff going on. I never really grieved. I don't think
Mhm.
I've ever really grieved because I can't even go put flowers at her grave without having anxiety or just trying to accept the fact that that's what it is. So you make me feel like I need therapy. I think I do. I don't feel like I don't want it. I know I need it. So it
You
kind
just
of
show that
trumps me
everybody
wanting it.
can use it at one time or another in their lives, and it's not a bad thing. It's just whenever you're ready, then
Yeah.
it's good, and it will help you as you an individual person. It will help you decipher through so many different things. So yes, I encourage you as well as myself and anyone else to just have a therapy session to just talk, because it
Yeah.
didn't mean first thing they say, oh, something's wrong with her, she's kind of, you know
Yeah, that's the stigma that they put out that people that go
exactly.
to therapy, something wrong with them, like they got to be crazy or something. That's not true. You could just go to therapy because you need to vent and get this off your chest so that you can be a better person or anything. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I grew up thinking that people, when they needed therapy, if God could fix it, they was like, nobody can fix it. Therapy
Mhm.
for crazy folks. For example, for someone that may have been essayed before. Imagine them coming to you and telling you, and you throw the Bible at them instead of trying to get them some help. Then they grow up and they're angry, resentful, and all this other stuff. So, I think therapists are definitely needed, especially in the times we live in now. So yes, ma'am. So with that being said, thank you for helping people like me. Okay.
You're welcome.
Hey, everybody that's coming in. So, my next question is, how does Insight make mental health support realistic and sustainable for everyday people?
Okay. At Insight Mental Health Clinic, we attempt to make it normal and sustainable for everyday people, because we're able to provide a virtual appointments as well as in-person appointments. My clinic usually starts in the afternoons, like when people are getting off, starting like about 4:30 in the afternoon. So, you don't really have to take off to schedule an appointment in my clinic. Like if you work from 8 to 4, you can schedule an appointment for 5 o'clock and get home and get settled, and we can have a virtual session. It's in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to go into a clinic and feel like, okay, I'm wondering if they hearing what I'm here for, that type of
Mhm.
thing. And it just maintain privacy, confidentiality, and personalized treatment for each individual. And at that time, we also accept self-pay as well as many different insurances.
Okay, okay. Y'all heard that now? Y'all heard it. Very convenient and very affordable. Okay. So y'all don't have no excuse. They go for me too. So don't be looking crazy if you see my name pop up, Dr. Adams, because I'm gonna be on
Well,
that.
welcome you.
Hey everybody that's coming in. So the next question is, you may have said this already, but we're gonna ask it anyway. How do
Mhm.
you help clients manage mental health alongside work, family, and life demands?
Okay. Uh, I try to offer flexibility for scheduling appointments with my clients. So that way, and the virtual works really well if you like it, if it's something that you would like to take advantage of, because you don't have to leave your home. You don't have to
Mhm.
find a babysitter for your children, or,
Yeah, see,
that
that'd be
type
perfect.
of.
That'd
Mhm.
be perfect for me because my children, you can't take them nowhere, y'all. I mean, nowhere. They're gonna find something to want. They don't care where we at. Okay. So before I get into the next question, could you tell everyone where they can stay connected with you at? Where can they find you? How can they book an appointment?
Yes. Yeah, I am with Insight Mental Health Clinic. You can reach me at www.insight, and that's Insight, SIGHT, mentalhealthclinic.com. Or you can call and speak with me at 601 308 9719. That is the office number. If you leave a message, if I don't answer at that time, I will return your call back. Or you can email me at insight24@yahoo.com. And I'm also located on Instagram, as well as Facebook and LinkedIn. Websites are on there too, to be able to reach me.
Okay, and I'll also make sure to drop all of that in the comments once this live is over so that you can go back and get it, everyone. So, last question, but a good question. I always like to ask this question because someone may be watching and may want to know this and they may be afraid to ask. So I'm going to ask it, okay? What message would you give to someone who knows they need help like me, but hasn't reached out yet?
I'll go back to my first quote that I said: mental health is just as important as physical health. I encourage each and every one that needs or would like to just inquire, just book a consult. It's free. Just to have a 10-minute conversation with myself or another mental health provider. But that way you will be able to ask the questions that you were kind of wondering, do I really need this type of help or care, or do I even want to book a real appointment? Let me just ask these few questions and see. And that'll be your opportunity to ask me whatever you need, and I can answer honestly in a confidential setting. And you'll be able to know from there if you'll say, yes, I do want to book an appointment with Dr. Adams, or no, I don't need one right now.
Yeah, cause see, I'm the type of person when I go to an appointment, I be paying attention. I can tell within the first few minutes if I'm gonna want to listen to you for the rest of my appointments. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
I, I don't be wanting to waste the doctor's time. Like I be there, set up the next appointment, then I don't go back. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't like something you
Mhm.
did. I'm just very picky. Like I said, I've been to my oncologist has sent me to different therapists. The first one, she just didn't work out. She just wasn't it. She just kept trying to medicate. And I know I wasn't crazy. I just
Mhm.
needed to talk, And
Yep.
she was okay for some of the stuff, but some I was like, mm. Then the next day, like I said, I was with her for a minute and she just up and left. She didn't give me no
Mhm.
warning or nothing. It just broke my little heart. Just broke me down, y'all. And I ain't been back since. And then they just recently tried to have me see somebody that I couldn't understand nothing the doctor was saying. I'm like, come on, y'all. I'm like, okay, so you know what? I was like, I'm gonna try this again, but when I'm ready. And I'm the type of person, once something traumatic happens to me, especially at a doctor or anything like that, I kind of I ain't doing that no more. But
Right.
I'm trying to learn because, like I said, we all can use a little help here and there. Just because you need a therapist don't mean you're crazy, y'all. So
Exactly.
don't be afraid to reach out for help. You know, we all go through stuff. A lot of us is going through financial stuff, grieving. It's a lot going on in the world. It's so much changing. I remember when I was a little girl, I was telling somebody the other day, they was telling me about when they grew up, and I said, dang, I thought I had it bad, but I was grateful because I'm like, when I was a kid, I didn't have to worry about that. But it's a lot of people still deal with stuff from their childhood. I have a friend, she said she's writing a book called Roaches and Newport Packs. And I
Mm,
asked her, why would you write a book called that, right? And she's like, well, we used to have to light the roach shells to heat up food, or we had to do this. I'm like, we not that far apart in age, so it just make you wonder, like, wow, if she went through that, I know somebody went through something crazier than that. So
yes.
that's just traumatic. A lot of us carry traumatic things from our past, and it's okay to get help to release those things so that you can be a better person because you don't want to grow up bitter. I know for a long time I was bitter. People used to tell me, why you so bitter? Why you always so angry and mean? And I didn't realize I was being mean until I
Mhm.
sat back with like, well, this is what's bothering me. This is what's triggering it. Let me try to fix it.
Yeah. And then, just being African American, most our homes are very, very candid. I mean, just shoot from the hip. They just
Hmm.
don't care about hurting your feelings or, it just like you spoke earlier about, hey, you have to wear some tough skin to grow up and be able to survive a lot of different things. But
Hmm.
it doesn't mean that you just have to continue to take it with you and not seek help because there's help available. There's many
Hmm.
resources out here, and it's a big stigma with mental health towards African Americans because of their bringing up, the way they were taught. Our culture, tells us, hey, you just having a bad
Yeah.
day, snap out of
Yeah. Yeah, like
it.
go take a nap and wake back up. You'll feel better. Or you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm like, really?
That too.
I'm like, I'm not allowed to just have a bad day. I had to wake up bad. Like, come on. But
So many.
that, like you said, that's just upbringing. Like my grandmother, she was born in '45, so I can only imagine what it was like back then. And so she had to grow up pretty quick. She was 14. She was on her second baby. She watched her mom be murdered in front of her. And she just had to grow up really fast. They made her marry my granddaddy, which he was much older than her. And then he went and had other kids with other people she raised them. So I think by the time she became a actual full grown woman, she was just bitter. And she never got with anyone behind it. Like she never remarried anything. She dated once and she just didn't go through with it. But she was so trauma filled, so much trauma from stuff. She just didn't want to try certain stuff again. And once after she passed away, I understood her more. Cause I wish when she was here, she would have just spoke on it or just been open about some things and I could have understood her more instead of thinking she just being mean to me. She don't
Mhm.
really care. And that wasn't what it was. She just needed help herself. And she didn't know what to do because she was
True.
taught to not believe in therapists, or maybe there wasn't therapists back then.
Wow.
So which was weird to me because she worked in the medical field. She worked all over the hospitals when we was living in New Orleans. She worked at like 3 different hospitals. So I'm like, why wouldn't she want to get us help? But like I said, it was the upbringing, the trauma she had dealt with, and she carried it on until she passed away. And that's a long time. She was 74 when she passed. That's a long time to carry something that
Yeah.
happened to you way back then, and you just let it affect your whole life. You just no happiness or nothing nowhere.
Yeah.
And I said,
It's
Lord,
so
I don't
many
want to be
different
like
cultural
that.
things too, because in that era, a lot of the grandparents or parents that were growing up, they were taught that what goes on in the house or the home, it stays in the home. You don't talk about
Hmm.
it. You don't discuss it.
Yeah.
You don't bring it up.
Yeah.
It was good, bad, or ugly. You just leave it at home.
Yep. You just leave it at home. Don't say nothing about it. Let it go. Yeah, because she did us like that too. Certain things for example, I've been sexually assaulted by a family member. I told her about it. She didn't want me to tell her so. She said, "Don't tell nobody. I'ma handle it." and
Mm,
she never handled it. As I got older, I carried that with me, that
yes.
pain, that hurt, that trauma. And guess what? Every time I got in a relationship, I was inflicting hurt and pain on the person I'm with because anxiety. It had got to a point I couldn't even be intimate without having flashbacks and having anxiety attacks,
You
spazzing
know,
out. Because,
PTSD, that was post-traumatic stress disorder, along
yeah.
with all of that.
And see, I'm learning new things about myself, which is you hear about it, but you be like, no, that ain't me. But then when I sit back, like how I'm listening to myself tell you, I'm like, dang, that
Mhm.
is post traumatic stress. That's just the same as people who went through Katrina. A lot, I deal with that post traumatic stress from that. I know I do because I left somewhere thinking I was going back, and I never went back. We lost a
Yeah.
lot, so
Mhm.
I've been through a lot of traumatic stuff. But I just thank God that I'm not way worse than what I could be. That I do try to catch it when I can, but you
Yes.
just get after this conversation today, I'm going to sign up for therapy and get me some help, so I
Good.
can be my best self. I'm 34 now. I beat cancer. That part of my life is over with. I want to be able to move past that. I was telling my
Awesome.
aunt the other day, she's like, you should talk about it more. And I had to tell her, I remember a time, I was like, do you remember a time when I didn't tell nobody I had cancer? Nobody knew I had it. I've had it since I was 14.
Mm.
Nobody knew I had it. I was just going on with life. Nobody knew till one day I just told it. And because I wanted to go through that by myself. It was I'm not gonna say I was ashamed of it, but a lot of people like to give you sympathy. And
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for all that. I
Mhm.
wasn't even giving myself sympathy or nothing. I was very full of faith that the Lord would heal me.
Yes.
But it
Awesome.
just I feel like when was it gonna ever happen? And then when it finally happened, I was like, wow. I felt a little better, but then everybody like, I want you to talk about it, your journey and this. I'm like, that's over with. Like, I
Right.
don't want to talk about it no more. Like, it was very traumatic for me, but it was because it was traumatic. That's why I don't want to talk about it, because I can't really talk about it without crying the emotions of what I felt, what I dealt with. Like, chemo, radiation, not
Mhm.
easy. Definitely.
Right.
The last radiation I had a mask over my face, and all of this was burnt up. It's already
Mm.
paralyzed, but imagine trying to deal with those burns in spots where you still can feel. So it was just a lot I dealt with. I remember one day I got so mad, I cut all my hair off bald. I cut my whole head bald, Dr. Adams. I was looking real crazy, okay? Because I didn't know what to do with what I was feeling. You get what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
instead of me going to put some music on and line dance, I done picked up some clippers. And then I'm looking in the mirror like, now, why did you do that? So yeah,
Mhm.
get y'all some help like me. So before we go, Dr. Adams, is there anything else you would like to tell anyone? Any words of advice?
Well, dealing with mental health, I would encourage each and every person to know yourself. Know
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Do self care for self. Take care of you. Because if you do not take care of yourself, you really can't care for others. Or if you do, it's going to be just a continued struggle and continued trauma that you're dealing with, but you're not releasing it. And at Insight Mental Health Clinic, we're able to meet you where you are, where there is therapy, counseling, or medication management. We're able to work with that individual person and develop a personalized treatment plan with you through gathering information from the mental health assessment and just discussing what's available and letting you as the person state what you want to do or what you want to be prescribed and how you want to man your mental health.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got one more question. I know I said we was finna go, but I got one more question. I'm just asking this because this is something I always wanted to know. You know how they can say generational curses, how people want to break generational curses, right? Do you feel like parents can pass down generational trauma?
Now,
Like how they
with
say generational curses, like say like for example, my dad, he's on drugs, he's a drug addict, right? My brother was a drug addict. And he learned that habit from my father, but my father learned that habit from his dad. And his dad learned that habit from, you get what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like parents can kind of like influence or pass down trauma that they have been through to their children?
When you ask it that way, I would say yes, because you got to think about what's going on. As a child, you're looking up to whom? Who you're
Your
around,
parents.
your
Mm-hmm.
parents, your family. So what you're able to see and be around, it becomes a norm to them.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, because if they never see anything else different, no one ever comes to them and tell them there's a different way to live, there's a different way to go. They may think this is normal. This is what I'm supposed to do because everybody I
Mm-hmm.
see around me is doing the same thing. So
Yeah.
that's when it comes into it's a good thing to discuss different things within school settings, within church settings, different community outreach settings is good now. We do a lot of that because it offers an opportunity to reach someone that you may never have reached if you didn't do those type of things. And then,
Mm-hmm.
just think about it. Once you learn better, you wanted to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And once you learn better, you set different goals. Well, I don't have to be that drug addict because I don't like it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
drink alcohol because I don't like it. Even though my dad or mom may have done it, that's not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. You realize you have choices. You have
Yeah.
choices for you.
Mm-hmm. So it's basically like you just gotta want to do better for yourself. You kind of just don't want to pick up where your family left off with certain stuff. In my family, um, drug abuse is very prevalent. All of my grandmother's children were on drugs, and because of that, she had to raise their children. That was another reason she didn't get a chance to live her life because after she raised her kids, she was raising their kids,
Mhm.
and I always grew up saying I don't want to be like my grandma because like, I used to be like that. But then I thought about it like she loved us enough to not let us be in the system. But I
Yeah.
just as I got older, I realized the stress she was under, working 2, 3 jobs, trying to take care of us, make sure we had lights and water and food. We never experienced no lights, no water, no food, nowhere to stay, stuff like that. So I realized like I'm blessed because a lot of people can't say that. Um, so a lot of things I learned from her, even though everything wasn't always good, it's a lot of things I felt that we went through that is still traumatic for me, even as an adult. But a lot of the good stuff outweighed the bad. And I will say I learned a lot from her. It just the only thing I wish is that she would have taught me to learn like it's okay to cry sometimes and feel emotions because she always made me feel like I had to be the strong one. And I remember when the last days I spent with her, she apologized to me. She like, I'm sorry I was so tough on you. And then she was like, but I know that when my time came, I was gonna need you to step up and this and that. I was like, well, why not just say that? Like, why you had to be so mean? But she wasn't being mean. She just was preparing me and she was trying to do the best she could with the skills and knowledge that she knew. Cause like they tell us, becoming a parent does not come with an instruction manual. So you kind of learning as you go. So um that was another thing. I learned to forgive her for the things I felt that she did that was wrong towards me. It wasn't wrong, it was just her way of trying to protect me and look out for me. So um
And that has
that's
helped
another
you
thing.
and able
It
to
has helped
forgive.
me a lot. It released a lot. It made me feel better. All that anger I had towards her, I don't have that no more. Like even
Oh,
with my
smart.
dad, even though he's on drugs and he hasn't been a part of my life, when I talk to him, I'm the happiest. It's almost like I'm a daddy's girl. Like I just be so happy.
Yeah,
So I'm learning to forgive him too because I have to understand he went through something and he just never got through it because he never got the proper help. So um
exactly.
I'm learning to have more grace, be more understanding. Now that I'm older and I deal with certain things, I can now deal with him better because I was very mean to him. Because I just couldn't understand why he chose the life he did. And he didn't, I'm not gonna say he really chose it, it was kind of handed to him and he just never shook it. He lost my brother passed away from drug abuse, my auntie did. So like it's just something that I try to stay away from because I don't
Yes.
want to be in there. I'm scared to even take medicine. Doctor giving me medicine and I'm asking them, what's all the side effects? What's in here? What's the ingredients? Like, I want to know. And then my
Yes.
grandma also taught me, you never take something until you read up on it yourself. and you get an understanding. So that's why I'm the way I am. Like everybody be looking at me like I'm crazy and stuff, but I'd just rather be in pain or something. I don't even like the feeling of pain medicine sometimes. Have you sleepy, having hot flashes, you know. So
Yes.
yeah, this was a good episode. If y'all missed it and you just coming in, please go back and replay it when we in this. You didn't help me today, Dr. Adams. I'm probably gonna cry when I get off here. You really helped
Oh,
me today. Like I said, it's been a rough week for me. I'm still finding myself. I'm still learning to love myself after everything. So you helped me. See, I'm tearing up now. I'm a crybaby, but I'm very transparent. I'm very open. And it took me a long time to get like that because I used to be in such a shell. You would literally have to crack me to get me to say something. So, thank you. Let me
you
wipe my
are
face,
so
y'all. I'm
welcome.
sorry.
You are just speaking so many coping skills and so many levels that you've been through. And you're being so transparent. And that's one of the things that a lot of people need to hear. Just transparency to know that, hey, they're not the only one that are feeling the way that they're feeling. Or even
Yeah,
they're not the only one who have went through these things. And that
yeah,
is okay. And best thing about it is you survived and you're
yeah.
here. You're
Yeah,
here.
that's why I'm so resilient. Like my experiences have made me so resilient. Like I
Yes.
don't give up and I don't let nothing keep me down. Like I'm crying right now. Like I'm trying to wipe my face. I'm like, oh Lord, I'm crying on here. But um, like I said, it's been a rough week. So this is my way of
Yes.
releasing myself. And if y'all call
Exactly.
me a crap baby, it's okay. um, but this really helped me. Made me look at therapy a little bit different too. So
Awesome. It's
so thank
new.
you for this.
You're
Don't
welcome.
don't take it as a shock if you see me on your appointment book or something.
Will not. Will
But
not.
this really helped me. I'm really
Awesome.
not I really don't like to cry in front of people. I be trying to be hard, but like I said, that's a mask.
Yeah.
I'm just used to doing it. That was one of my coping methods. Like I was used to just sucking it up and keep going. Thinking I was coping, but I wasn't really coping. I was just making it worse, you know. So thank you for this interview. Let me wipe my face, y'all. All right,
Thank
I'm
you for
back.
having me, Taylor, on Standing on Business. I am so thankful and honored to have met you and discuss live so
Yes,
many different
ma'am.
things related to mental health because it is
Yeah,
so important.
it really is. I'm talking about I ain't even did a real session yet, but I'm starting to feel a little better just from just talking about how I felt. So
Yeah.
sometimes that's all it takes is to be able to talk to someone and they listen to you. And,
Awesome.
most times people don't want to listen to you. They just instantly want to give you their insight and they don't really understand what's going on with you. They're just going by bits and pieces. But I thank you for listening to me and also just helping us understand and breaking the stigma because I feel like this live has broke the stigma for me for how I feel about
Awesome.
therapists. So um, I appreciate that. So if y'all are just coming in, please go back and watch this live. Make sure y'all follow us on YouTube at the Standing on Business podcast. Um, I guess I'll be back with more episodes. I'm excited about the next one. I will say, Guy has definitely been shifted. I'm in a whole different realm. Like I'm over here with the professionals. Okay, I'm over here with the doctors and stuff. I just feel so special. I met one of the people from Alcorn yesterday. I think he's over the agricultural part, and I was just so stoked. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like what? So I'm just grateful. So thank you for coming on. Thank y'all for watching. And also, if you are interested in getting a magazine feature, you can always visit www.thelegacymagazinems.blog, or you can always DM us, or you can contact me at 601-672-1718. And yes, so until next time, peace and blessings. Love y'all. See y'all later.
Bye bye.